Alright, what is going on, guys? My name is Leo Master. Welcome back to another Overwatch League video, and the weekend of the Houston Outlaws homestand is over, and I know I didn't upload a video yesterday because, well, it was kind of the obvious stuff that I've been talking about almost every video so far, so I didn't want to make basically a clone of the video. So basically, the full weekend's over. The second day of the weekend was pretty interesting, I do gotta say. The first day was just a roll for many teams. We started off on the New York Excelsior game. It was a roll for the Florida Man. Then onto the Toronto Defiant versus Atlanta series. That was good, right? Then London Spitfire versus the Houston Outlaws. I expected London to win. Houston was looking better. They're starting to figure out what they're actually good at, surprisingly. Linkser, he's a great hit scan player, right? And they finally put him on the hit scan. Isn't that a wild ride? And then they put Hydration on a May, which is pretty interesting. I feel like Dante should be playing mainly the entire time. I feel like Dante is a better mate, at least compared to Hydration. Like 100% for sure. I feel like we should be seeing Lynx or Dante way more. But all around, Houston's looking better. London Spitfire is just an interesting team. London Spitfire gets wins, but like they're not satisfying wins, I would say. I don't know. They're kind of weird. I think Avast said it pretty well on the stream, or whoever said it. I don't know if it was Avast, but like London Spitfire is a sleeper bad team. Like, London Spitfire could end up getting wins, or they're just going to be really bad. And they look bad getting those wins. Then again, they have like Glisser popping off. They have Sanguinar doing really good. Surprisingly, Sanguinar is really doing good. I've heard things like, he's a great player, but like Sanguinar is definitely like one of the better rookies I feel like we've seen so far in the Overwatch League, I feel like. And he's definitely getting slept on. And then again, on the Houston Outlaws side again, this happened in the second day of the weekend. We're going to talk about that as well. But they're finally putting Blase on the heroes he's good at, like the Doomfist, putting Dante on the Sombra and May when he can. I just feel like Dante should just be playing 24/7. Mekko's starting to get a little bit better with the team a little bit more. He's still having a little bit of issues peeling and also helping Moomat sometimes, but they're starting to, figure out what they're good at, which is still shocking. I feel like anyone who's not a coach knows what they're good at. Blase, fantastic on the Doom. Dante, probably their best May and best Sombra. Linkser, best hit scan, which he's shown that he still is a good hit scan player. Then onto the second day, Boston Uprising versus the Philadelphia Fusion. Boston Uprising, we expected them to get rolled. They put in Fusions for this match, and I honestly wasn't impressed. I really wasn't. Fusions, obviously it was his first game playing the main tank with no other main tank beside him like Axiom Fusions. So it was Fusion's first time playing beside Muffin on stage, and I wasn't a fan of it. And I love to see Axiom back in. It was also Axiom. He only played one game with Muffin as well, so we've seen even playtime with these two main tanks. And I've been a fan of Axiom way more mechanically, and we've heard he has good comms. So I love to see Axiom just play more. I think if they put Axiom back in, I think that's going to be their strongest roster. And then on the Philadelphia Fusion side, we saw EQ and Fury come in today, and Fury popped off with the things he had in mind. On the King's Row, if you didn't know, he had a little curve bomb play, and that wasn't with the cart. That wasn't planned at the cart. It was actually, if you put the bomb on the floor, the little road that goes to like the little spawn area, it actually curves on the road, which I think he knew that on purpose. I think he did it on purpose as well. And Fury's still a great player, but I have a feeling that we watched their Team B team, which it probably sucks to say that and probably sucks to hear that for people. But I think we watched their Team B, because Team A, they've been playing Poco throughout the entire season so far, and they've gone against strong teams as well, Poco and Ivy. So I think we have seen their Team B. EQ still pretty I think Ivy's the better May, which is pretty obvious. We've known that from the start. And then Fury, still a fantastic diva. We saw that today as well. But I think Poco's still going to get playtime. But then again, if Fury impressed the coaches today, Fury could get the playtime over Poco, who knows? Then on to the next match. I expected this match to be very close after yesterday. Paris Eternal versus Atlanta Reign. A lot of people expected Atlanta to own this series, which I really didn't. If you didn't see Atlanta versus Toronto yesterday, honestly, Toronto is looking worse. I am going to say that with later when we talk about Toronto Defiant versus the Houston Outlaws. But with the Atlanta Reign, they really did not give their all, I feel like, on the Toronto Defiant game. Obviously, they still won. They won pretty dominantly. But Atlanta Reign, still all around, I expected them to be good. Baby Bay is doing really good on this team, by the way. I do want to say, Baby Bay came out of nowhere. I expected Sharp or Edison to start. That didn't happen. Baby Bay starting, which is probably the least thing I expected. And then, just like I said, they just didn't really, I feel like, show their all that Toronto game, and it gave me doubts. That's why I put 3-2 Atlanta winning on my Preds, and a lot of people called me wild, but I understand that one. But Toronto Defiant is looking worse. Atlanta Reign is not looking as good as we thought they were. Still potentially top 5 team, or top 10 at least. But we go to the Paris series versus Atlanta Reign, and we've seen Paris has 11 players sick right now. I think it's 11, but they have almost the entire team sick, except for a cruise, and they still won. Atlanta Reign came out with Hawk on their team this time, no Gator, and I definitely gotta say Hawk was still kind of shaky. He was definitely nervous, which is kind of expected. You know, you're a new player coming into the Overwatch League, you're gonna get nervous. It's almost kind of gonna happen, 100%. And the same thing happened here. I definitely gotta say Hawk also was nervous throughout the entire series. Until the last map, I gotta say Dorado, he was definitely picking it back up. He looked very good actually near the end of the series. But then again, Atlanta Reign, they just were not the better team against Paris. You know, they let a lot of pressure go onto the backline like Dogman and Massa. Hawk was trying to peel here and there, but Paris was just the better team, I feel like. More aggressive. Just all around, they had a better plan, and they just looked better. I just don't know what to say. I was trying to, like, really find the things I could while watching the stream. I don't really go to the replay viewer, but I was really trying to watch what was happening. Just Paris looked like the better team at this point. And then again, who knows what would happen? I definitely think Paris was expected to at least have the game close, but they did end up coming out with a win. I definitely think Atlanta will learn from these past two games and probably be a little bit more 100% the next game. Obviously, they probably gave their all these past two games, but I definitely just didn't feel like they gave their all the Toronto game. And if you don't believe me, I just recommend going back and watching it. They let Toronto get away with some things, and I just think Toronto potentially could be the worst team right now. I don't think they're the worst team right now. I still think Boston Uprising is, and potentially Toronto's above them, then Houston's above them. Who knows what could happen? Then on to the next one, London Spitfire versus Florida Man. My Preds were right on this one. I expected this one to be a close game. London's been coming out with more wins than the Florida. I just kind of felt like London was going to win, and I expected the series to be close, which it was close. And, it was pretty sloppy here and there. A lot of random things from the series. But then again, Glister still on the team. I bet if they didn't have Glister, this wouldn't have gone to a map 5. Glister came out with so many potential clutch wins, or clutch fights, I should say, with this team. It was just expected. Then to the next match, Toronto Defiant versus the Houston Outlaws, and a lot of people expected Toronto to win, but it didn't happen. Like I said in the previous series with London Spitfire versus Houston Outlaws are starting to figure out what they're good at, and they definitely took advantage of Blase on Doomfist, which has done wonders for them right now. And I do gotta say the bright spots in Toronto was their DPS line. Agilities was performing at a good level this entire series, I feel like, even though they've lost fights. Shortforce still the better hit scan. I still want to know why Toronto's running Logix the first map. Obviously, they won the first map, but it wasn't clean. It really wasn't clean. I also want to know why they're still running Zarya. It's just not good. Zarya is not good right now. Maybe it will be whenever Diva's banned. But I gotta say, Toronto Defiant is looking pretty bad right now. Houston Outlaws, they're getting better, which is good, but they still need more time. I definitely think Meko's starting to get better with staying with Muma. I kind of showed that in the last series, but whenever, Muma gets this little hate, I definitely think it's the reason why Meko's not with Muma majority of the time. Obviously, Meko's going on those flanks a lot, and he's getting some value out of those flanks, but Houston Outlaws all around, they still need upgrades, obviously, in the main take area, I feel like, for sure. And then to see what happens, I don't know if they're going to sign a main take. I'm just saying those things. But Houston Outlaws, I don't think they're the worst team anymore. They're starting to figure things out, finally, even though it's kind of shocking they're figuring stuff out now when they should have figured that stuff out in off-season, with how good Blase is on the Doom, how good Dante is on the Sombra, and then Lynx on the hit scan. It's still confusing things. Then on Toronto Defiance, it is kind of bad to see them get worse. I honestly thought they would be a playoff team after the first couple of weeks we saw on Toronto Defiant, but obviously we haven't seen all the teams yet. We still haven't seen the Chinese teams. We still haven't seen Seoul Dynasty yet. But Toronto Defiant, I had hope, I really did, but seeing these past two games, they didn't give a single fight towards Atlanta Reign. Obviously they got away with a couple things, but they kind of looked like they had blindfolds on the Atlanta Reign match. Then until the Houston Outlaws match, they just threw out ults randomly to the Houston Outlaws, gave away so many fights away, honestly. Just this team all around is getting worse, it feels like. I feel like they shouldn't, because the talent they have is insane. Obviously, Kelix is still kind of performing really bad on the team, which I feel like he should learn these things at this point. He's still going in too much as Lucio. His amp timing's weird. Kelix is just getting worse. Crib's still a top player, I gotta say. Agility's doing good on the team, surprisingly. Beast, he's doing alright. Nevix, he's doing alright as well. I definitely gotta say the bright spot on this team right now for me is Kriv and Agility's Surefour. If Surefour's ever out, you're gonna look at a weak performance from the team, but when Surefour's in, they're gonna look a little bit better. Now to end it off, if you guys didn't see the post show with the Overwatch League, they showed who they're banning for this next weekend for the Overwatch League, and the heroes that are getting banned are Reinhardt, Moira, McCree, and Widowmaker. So we could potentially see Dive come back with Winston Diva, and also we could be seeing Pharah be played, honestly. No McCree in, no Widowmaker in, no Hitscans really in at all. We could see Pharah come in, which is going to be very good for multiple teams. Maybe a downgrade for some teams. Who knows what could happen. Anyways, guys, that's going to be for me. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to join my Discord down below. Also, don't forget to follow my Twitter and my Twitch. And don't forget to hit that bell. And don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below. And I'll see you guys on the next one.